So welcome to this afternoon. Welcome to Qigong Live Online today, and we're going to do our stretching. We're doing our normal stretching, our new stretching, which is quite exciting. I quite like this stretching. It's bizarre how good my body feels after it. So, and the more I practice, the easier it is to do it. And get used to moving my elbows to move my hands. So the whole stretching sequence is done where you use a different part of your body to move a different part of your body. So you can relax my wrists by moving my elbows. And it's the same way all through the body. We're doing this as a bit of a process at the moment until I get that I can do all of these really comfortably without someone feeling really weird. Elbows. Now I'm doing this with my shoulders. So I'm moving my shoulders, and then I'm leaving my elbows relaxed and my wrists relaxed. Get the other way. Good. Do our shoulders itself. Just let the shoulder relax. Now we're leaving the shoulder, arm, and elbow relaxed. The whole thing's relaxed. Just one big piece now. Very cool. Do the circles. Oh, Mark, I haven't forgotten too. I'm going to show you part wild horses. We should actually do it. We might do it as an exercise. There you go. That's even better still. We'll do it as a Qigong exercise. Parting wild horses mane, it's called. Yeah, there you go. We'll teach it. I'll teach you a piece of Tai Chi today. How's that? Good. So just moving our body back and forth. So remember, we're moving our hips. And if we move our hips fast enough, if we do that, we can get the whole arm moving by itself, just by moving my hip. And the whole arm's relaxed. If I do the other one, got to give it a bit of a warm-up. Go the other way. There we go. So we do our spine. So we're moving our spine. We're doing our hips. We move our hips to move our spine. Yep. And just let the spine relax and the neck relax. I haven't done the neck ones yet, have I? So since we've been doing this, these exercises are getting easier and easier. I can actually feel my spine moving now. I'm learning how to relax the muscles to either side of my spine. And when I'm doing this, I can actually feel my spine moving inside my body, and right up to my neck. It certainly wasn't very free to start off with. It was quite stiff, but what's happened in time is the spine, I can feel the spine moving backwards and forwards as I'm turning, and the muscles that are holding were, before they were quite rigid, and I can feel it letting go. It all depends on how much rigidity you carry in your body and how much you get to feel it, but have perseverance, because it does change. It's a great feeling. Good. So we're going to do our neck, and we're going to go from one side, and we're moving our neck, and we're moving our hips, and we're flopping our neck one side to the other, and just let it flop. It's a weird feeling. Feels really good though. Going forward and backwards, just let it flop forward. Move your hips forward and back. Hips go back. Hips side go forward, go backward. Good. Move the hips in circles, and then let your neck relax. And so your neck does complete circles because of your hip movement. Now when you do this, of course, your shoulders are relaxed, your elbows and your wrists are relaxed as well. The spine's relaxed. It's just your hips moving the whole top part of your body, and your head's just flopping. Go the other way. You get a bit dizzy doing this. I'm not sure if anybody else does, but I get a bit dizzy. or unwind it, go the other way. Now one side's easier to do than the other. Very cool. Cool. So we move our knees to move our hips. So we move our knees backwards and forwards and let the hips relax. Yep. Move our knees side to side. Let the hips relax. Yeah, it looks funny. I just saw myself on the video, saw myself on the computer what this looks like. It just so much looks like that dance. I don't know how to do that other thing where they do the similar sort of thing to this. It cracks me up. Good. Do circles with your knees, which makes you do circles with your hips. Go the other way. Very good. That's great, isn't it? That's good. So now move our hips now to move our knees. So our hips are going to move, and we're going to move our knees. So we just change. And it does feel different if you change it around, hips moving the knees. But if I stop and I do the knees moving the hips, it feels totally different. But if I go back to the hips moving the knees, there you go. Very different. So we're doing circles at the moment. And go back the other way. And one of my knees is more freer than the other. I noticed that. Side to side. And then forward and backwards. So I move my hips to move my knees. They're going forward and backwards. A couple of classes ago, we did, well, I can't remember how much, it was probably last week or the week before, we were working out how to move your shoulders, how to do circles with your shoulders individually, to do one shoulder's turning circles, so circles this way, so they go in that way, and then turn the other one going the other way. And you can actually do that. It's a bizarre experience. It's like moving one hip joint one way, and then moving the other, and having both hips moving, but you're focusing, you can stop and just have one going, and then you can stop and have the other one going. There's a video, there's a class on it. It was very interesting how you can isolate a joint in your body and make circles with it individually. It was very, very cool. It just reminded me of that when I was just doing that. I'm moving my hips from my knees at the moment. Side and side. Moving my hips, let the knees relax. Front and back. Very cool. So, bring your knee up and just flop your foot down. And I'm moving my knee to let my foot relax. So let the foot flop. There you go. Floppy foot. Whoops. Circles with the knee. Oh. Circles with the knee. Circles the other way. Good. Circles with the knee. There's a bit of hip going on in this as well, not just the knee that's doing that. And then go the other way. Yeah, see, the foot feels really relaxed that side. For some reason, that one's better than the other way. No idea why. But I can feel the foot just hanging from the joint and the ankle. Yeah, that's very good. That's something I haven't felt before. But it didn't feel the same doing that one. So somehow I can let the left foot go more than the right. I don't know why. I have no idea. No idea at all. Okay. So now the body's nice and relaxed. Neck's relaxed, arms relaxed, body's relaxed. Very good. Okay. We'll just bow, eh? Hold back onto your thumbs. Gong. So the inner workings of Tai Chi. Tai Chi is a very, very cool thing. Tai Chi is a martial art, of course, and so the difference between Qigong and Tai Chi is it's still using the energy in the body, still using the meridians, still moving energy in and out of your body, but Tai Chi is a martial art. So part of the whole idea of Tai Chi, and you see when they're doing push hands, when you have two people together and they're doing push hands together, is about interfering with the other person's energy. So if you can control over your energy, and you can move it up and down in your body, and you can move your arm with energy, then when you're working with somebody else, but especially with martially, is that you can interfere with their energy in their body. And that's the mastery of that. Of course, that can take a little while to do that. But part of it's about that. Part of it's about being empty and just letting the energy move you. And when your energy is moving and there's no muscle, the person has nothing to fight against because there's nothing to fight. When you hang on to somebody's hand and you move the hand, it's that muscle tension, the resistance that you fight against. But when you relax the hand, one day, when I do a live class, Mark, one day when you're with me, I'll show you what I mean. You hold onto my hand and you grip it really hard and I'll fight you, and then I'll just let my hand relax and I can just move my hand and I'll move your hand around and you can't stop me because I'm actually not using any muscles anymore. I use energy, and you can't fight the energy because there's nothing to hang on to. You can't fight. You can fight if somebody's fighting with you because you've got resistance against resistance, but as soon as it just relaxes, there's nothing there to fight against. But then because I can move my arm without loading up my muscles, you can't stop me doing that even though you want to, because there's nothing for your muscles to hang on to. It's a very unique experience. And so the whole Tai Chi is about that, about being able to let it go, and your energy can move the other person's energy. Yep. So that's a brief introduction to something very complicated. Hardest part, letting go. So we're going to do a move out of that, which is called parting wild horse's mane. And I'll show you what it looks like first, and it might be easy, and then I'll break it down into pieces. Yep. And there's all sorts of pieces to this, and Mike and I were talking about this today, so we're going to go and do a little bit piece of it. We might as well all do it, because it's a lot of the Tai Chi movements are Qigong movements. When we talk about playing the peeper and standing in these postures, we talk about brush knee, we talk about a lot of these things come from Tai Chi movements. Cloud hands, when we do cloud hands, comes out of the Yang form. Well, it's actually in all forms. It's in the Wu style and the Chen style. Cloud hands, and so they've come out of Tai Chi moves, or whether they've come out of Tai Chi moves or they've used the body's way to move energy, and then they made it into a martial understanding, a martial application of the same way you move energy in your body, you can move other people. So I'm not sure which way. Some of it might have come one way and some might have come the other, the cart before the horse thing. But we're going to do a particular one which is really famous. And it starts off, I'll do it for you first. So there's a few lead up to it, but we're going to start with holding the ball, and we're going to talk a little bit about the ball and holding the ball. And then you step, and we're going to do this. Now we do this when we do Shuba Shu, when we step and we put our heel down, then our toe down. It's the same thing. So hold on a bit. We look to this, we turn, we put our heel down, we put our toe down, and as we come forward, we go straight forward, and then we rotate. As we rotate, the body turns and the hands come past and they pass each other like that and end up this way. There's a few different ways you can do this, and a few different applications for it. So we're coming from there, toe, heel, pendulum, rotate, yeah, to that form there. Cool. Okay, so we're going to do that. That's going to be our focus. We'll do it both sides. We'll do it on the other side. Otherwise, you walk around all one-sided for the rest of the day. We won't do that. We'll do it the other. We'll show you how to do it the other way as well. Yeah, because there's two different ways. But we go right to the start of it. So the first thing is about standing. So you're going to stand on one leg and the other foot. Now, this is done differently, but we're going to do it a particular way. So we can stand on one foot. In this case, I'm going towards my left will be your right. I'm going towards the right. I'm going to mirror you so it's easy for you to do this. I'm going to stand there holding the ball, and I'm going to have the top hand, which is my right. You'll be your left hand on top, your right hand underneath. Yep. And we're going to step off towards the right, and we're going to do that towards the right. Yep. So we'll get there. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to establish this ball thing, this thing. Now, the easiest way to describe the ball is like holding your energetic field in your ball. Now, and I'll show you the difference, because the ball's got to be synonymous to you. The size of the ball is only in reference to you as a person. So if I did this, if I hold a ball like that, it doesn't quite look right, because my ball's just a little bit bigger than that, yeah? Tiny little ball like that. So that's not really me, and that's not me being humble, that's just not being real, not being honest. And there's the other extreme of that. If I go a ball like this, that's not quite me either, is it? I'm exaggerating somewhat. There's a little bit of ego involved. If my ball was that big. Yep. So there's a place where your hands are that just feel right. Remember, so we're standing on our left foot. We have our left arm up in the air and our right hand's underneath it. And then you've got to work out where that ball is. Now you can exaggerate, go small and go, that's not you. And then go big, because this is the easiest way to work out what you're not. And you go big and that's not you. And work out where your ball is, that's comfortable for you, about who you think you are. That ball is a representation of your energy, of who you are and your personality. And that ball, basically you're holding a round ball, complete ball. It's like a ball energy. And if you think of the bottom hands sitting on the South Pole and the top hands sitting on the North Pole, and through Lao Gong point in your hand and Lao Gong in the bottom, it's the axis that goes through the earth. If we think of this as the globe, if we do that, we've got a North Pole, South Pole. So these hands are opposite. And I can feel the energy coming in this hand, and I can feel it touching the energy of that hand because they're opposing each other. Yeah. So we're holding this ball, and you can work out where your ball is that feels right for you. And it does change. It doesn't stay like this forever, because as your energy gets bigger, your ball gets bigger too. So when we stand in this position, so another thing we've got to do is we've got to keep our shoulders down. So when we're holding the ball, we don't pick our shoulder up. We don't have our shoulder up, our elbows down, our shoulders down, we're holding the ball. When we've got our arms in this position, you don't have them crushed in beside each other. Can you just go in close enough? You don't have your arms locked in close like this, like that. You have your arms, there's some space. We'll talk about having the egg under the arms when we're doing the quiescent standing form, where you have that idea of that space underneath your arms, so your arms aren't squashed together. So we have that idea of that. They're not there. They're out to the side, and a ball. Now the hand isn't floppy hand. You don't have floppy hands. Your hand is full of chi, so it's like that. There is a slight bend in the top. It isn't straight. It isn't like that. It's not like that. It has got a slight bend, but it's not that. Definitely not that. Whoop, get it back up again. Full of energy. So we have the idea of the steel bar on the arm and wrapped with cotton wool. So we have this, but it's got a slight bend because you're sitting it on top of the North Pole or South Pole. Now that ball becomes quite real. Actually, you want to do something with that. Just step back so you double weight it and bring your ball to the center. To make this real, remember that the Lao Gong points are North Pole, South Pole. Right. I want you to turn the ball to the side. There you go. Now we do this one in heaven to earth exercises when we have the idea of the hands like that. Now you can feel the palm, the Lao Gong 2 points, meeting, touching each other. Good. Now roll the hands over the other way. So try and maintain the Lao Gong points in the middle of the globe. So it's in the middle of the, back to the center and back to the top. There's an exercise in the Chen style warm-up exercise. We've done exercise similar to this. Turn it over. Because we want to have this, be able to feel this ball, and in your mind, it's a real ball you're holding on to. Turn it back the other way. Good. Good. So I want you to take the hand off and hold the ball with one hand, and move the ball around so you're holding it with one hand. Good. You can go close in again, though. You're close. Staying. So you're moving around, holding the ball. Yep. I'll just get rid of the mosquito off my arm. Still holding the ball. Yep. Good. So I'm going to grab hold of the top of the ball, turn it over again. And I'm going to take the other hand off it. Now I'll move the ball around. Yep. So it's a real thing. Yep. So I'm going to do something else, but put your hand back on the top, hold it down. You're going to throw it up in the air and catch it. Throw it up and then catch it. Good. Throw it up again. Catch it. You and us and our imaginary ball. This is like a ball of energy. Throw it up. Catch it. Good. So we're going to turn it over. Well, actually, hold it that way. I'm going to bounce it. Bounce it on the ground and catch it. Bounce it on the ground and then catch it. Good. Bounce it again. Catch it. Bounce it again. Catch it. Good. Turn it back over the side. Good. Rotate it all the way over so you're holding the ball. Now it's become very real, hasn't it? You can feel it now. If we do something else, we might as well keep going with this theory, because the more real this is, the more you'll be able to feel the energy. Now take your top hand off it. Now we're going to do this exercise. You've all done this as kids. You roll it under the ball underneath your elbow, and it comes around the outside over the top, and then come back again and hold the ball. Good. Then put the hand back on top of it. You want to try that again, don't you? Okay. Goes around the side, underneath your arm. And you can try this with a real ball if you like. It goes over the top and around, and you're holding the ball. Good. Now back with the hand on top of it. Good. So that's what it feels like, and it's a real thing. But I need to move my hand around the other way. So you need to have your left hand on top, and we're going to change the weight onto the left side. bring the right foot up. Left hand on top, right hand underneath. Now this ball is real. So when you move it now, you can feel it's a real ball. Yeah. So when we create this, when we create the ball, it comes from there, it comes to this, and you create it. Good. Now we're going to step. Now the stepping is simple. You can hold onto the ball. Stepping, it goes heel and then the toe. Now to put the toe down, don't transfer any weight across to put the toe down. How we put the toe down is we bend this leg. I'll just hold the ball with that hand. You change this leg. This leg knee goes down to put the foot down. Because if you don't want to move any weight that way to put it down because it's incorrect, what you want to do is go from there, heel, toe goes down by bending this knee. Bend the knee, it goes down. I'll exaggerate so you can see that. Because once the heel's foot's down on the ground, I'm holding the ball, at any time I can pick that foot back up again because I haven't transferred any weight in it. If you watch my head, you'll see when I step out, and you see when I step back, see my head doesn't move? But if I put any weight in it, you're going to see if I bring the foot back, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go backwards first, and then I'm going to put the foot back. I'll exaggerate that a little bit more. So if I put any weight in it, to get the foot back off to bring it back, I'm going to have to move all the way across and then bring it back. But in theory, you go heel, toe, I can just pull it back and there's no movement in my head at all. It stays exactly the same place, yeah? Because I haven't committed to it yet. Now I'm holding the ball. Now I transfer the weight from this kidney point to that kidney point, and it comes up my legs and goes down into the kidney point into the ground. Yep, comes up this foot, down into the ground as it transfers weight from the back foot, and all the weight comes to the front foot. Cool? Okay, we've got that idea. So you can go backwards and forwards to get that idea. You can still hold your ball if you like. I'm just putting it down so you can see what I'm doing with my hands. So we're going forward and backwards from that movement. And the transition, of course, is you're keeping straight. You don't go up when you're high and then go down low when you go into the front, and go up and down. It just goes straight across, straight back, straight across, straight back. For those who do the monastery exercise, it's like the seaweed exercise. We're doing this exercise straight forward, straight back. So they're doing the same thing. Yep. So from there, we're going straight forward. Now, inside this step is a rotation. And we're going to rotate. We're going to move the arms from the rotation. So I've stepped. Now when I step to the side, I'll give you another piece. You don't step straight to the side, you step slightly behind. So if I step this way and I adjust the back foot, it's like I'll do this so you can see it from this way. If I step this way, I'm standing facing this way. If I step and I step too shallow, when I change the weight and I turn, now both these feet are in line with each other. Now I'm standing like on a beam and I'm not stable. So when you move the foot, you want to step slightly to the side that way. So when I come around to here, now I have a wider platform, a wider stance, because you don't want to be sitting like that because you're wobbly. It comes out to the side that way. Yep. Good. So we do go back to that. So now we're going to step slightly behind when we step. Holding the ball. Heel, toe. Good. And then we're going to pendulum across. We pendulum across the other foot. Good. As we go across to the other foot, halfway across, halfway, from there to there, halfway, you're going to rotate your hip and you're going to move, and you're going to do it on your heel. You leave your heel on the ground and move your toes. You bring your toe off the ground, which is disconnecting your kidney point, and you rotate you on your heel. Not every Tai Chi form does it this way. We're doing it a particular way today. I'm just giving you some points. Okay. We're going to rotate across, pendulum across, and then we're going to rotate to the front. Yep. So go back to that foot. From facing here, I'm holding the ball. You can hold the ball if you want to, or you can just leave your hands out for the moment. Then we're going to go across, halfway across. Then we're going to rotate our hips to turn. And we're rotating on the back, the heel of the back foot. Rotate on the back foot. Now, as we go across, when we get halfway, the weight's half 50-50. As I keep going that way, the back leg gets less and less weight. So as I turn, the heel gets lighter and lighter and lighter as I turn, till I get to the stage here, where most of my weight is on the front foot. Now, some people doing Tai Chi do 80-20 weight. Some people do 100% weight. So when you turn, you're 100% weighted on this foot. So I can actually move the back foot forward. I've actually taken the weight off the back foot altogether, depending on your teaching. Yep. They're just different martial applications. So go back to holding our ball. Heel, toe. Don't put any weight in it. You can move the foot back. Pendulum across, halfway across. Rotate your hips, turn. Yeah. And that rotation from halfway, if we go halfway, hold it to halfway, the rotation from halfway is when the hands part each other and you turn, and you have that idea of you're turning and the hands pass each other. Yeah? And you're rotating and we're turning. Now this stage, the knee stays above the toe in the front leg, doesn't change at all. All that's happening is the body's you're rotating the back leg, rotating this hip's turning around. Yeah, and it's bringing the foot around into the 10 to 2. Yep, from there to there. And as we turn, we do that and we turn the hands and our hands come out. Now some people have the hand facing towards us, some people have the hand up, it doesn't matter. Bottom hand, both occasions, the hand stays down by your groin to protect your groin. Other hand be like that or sometimes like that. Either of those are correct, they're just different applications. Cool, isn't that exciting? Now that's one step out of the posture. And how much detail's in that? We haven't even finished the detail yet, but more. So we're holding the ball. Yep. The first thing you do is you always look before you leap. There's a famous cat, I don't know who invented that story, look before you leap. I don't even know the origin of it. But you always look. In Tai Chi, you always want to know where you're going. So the first thing you do when you're holding the ball looking in the front, you've got to look first. Which is logical, isn't it? You want to know where you're going to go. You look first. Then you step. Heel, toe. Then you pendulum across, halfway across, rotate, and then bring the hands apart to that posture. Yeah? Cool. Go back again, we'll try that again. So, first of all, holding the posture, holding your ball away from your arms. Don't cross your arms. Looking first, look first. Step, heel, toe, pendulum, rotation. Don't you love that? Okay, try that again. Looking first. Heel, toe, pendulum, rotation. Very cool, isn't it? Now, there's lots of pieces. We can keep going, but we'll stop it there. There's lots of parts that's going on with that. But I will add a couple of pieces. The first of all is the martial application. What's actually happening? So when you've got the ball like this, and you've stepped, heel, toe. What's happened is, martially, is you've actually got the person's arm in your hand. Their arm, you've actually got their hand like that. They've thrown a punch, and you've grabbed the arm, and you sit like this, and you've come to here. So if they were punching me, the punches come forward, I've grabbed the arm, and I've brought it back, and I've turned, and I've brought it back, and the other arm's come underneath, and now I'm holding their arm, and I've got my hand underneath it. And the martial application is we step forward into them, and as I do that, I pull their arm down, and this arm comes underneath their arm. So now their arm's across here, and I'm holding this arm. And if I go that way, and this one goes down, and that one goes up, their arm's not in a really good place. It's going to start moving their arm up in the side of the socket. Yep. And there's slightly different applications depending on what they do with that once you do that. So you've got their arm, holding their arm, step, pulling their arm down, arm comes up, and it's like a bar because your arm's going to go across, and you're pushing this one down, and the other one's coming up at the same time. And this is called parting one horse's mane, that posture. Yep. Or you hang on to them and you guide the arm and you're turning them around, and now they're going flying that way as you guide the arm. Yep. And there's lots of things we can do after that when we follow them around. Yep. So there's a martial application, so you know where it fits in. Of course, Tai Chi is all about not fighting, but of course here we just got somebody's arm and there's a potentiality you could break their arm. Of course, we'd never do that because that's not what you do, but that's understanding the martial piece to it. So the part I was talking to Mark about was about the spaciousness of this exercise, of the spaciousness of when you move, how much space you have with this. We started off with the first part when we were standing here with the idea of holding a ball and not having a little tiny ball like this and not having a huge big ball. A ball that's like this with our elbows, we have some flexibility in the elbows. When we step the same thing, we look, heel, toe, and as we move and this hand comes around, there's a spaciousness that happens between the arms. Yeah. Now I'm going to turn around the front so you can see this because this is easier to see if I'm going this way. Yep. So if I start with this, I'll just get rid of a couple of leaves. If I'm going to start holding the ball, first of all, I'm going to look towards you because that's the direction I'm going because I've got your arm, so I'm hanging on to your arm, so I'm looking at you. Yeah. I'm going to step towards you. Heel, toe. I'm going to come towards you and I'm going to pull your arm down and bring the other arm up. And then I'm going to turn. And you can see what happens if you're standing there and I've got your arm, I'm pushing it down and I'm turning, you're going to go that way. Yep. into that model. Yep, very cool. So what we do is when we're doing this, the model, we look heel toe. Is what you don't want to do is this, and I'm going to show you not what to do. Don't do this. Is when we come around, we do this, and see, look, see the model. See how small it is. It goes from here, and it goes like this, and that's incorrect because martially that's incorrect. That's not what you're doing. So it's actually quite big. Yep. So we grab hold of the hand. We step heel toe. We look first heel toe. We move forward, and then see the arms have this space between them. We have this thing going on. There's this space, and we come and we bring it round that way. Yep. And as I say, then we turn the arm over. We turn the arm over and do another one. We do the one going the other way. So we have this idea that there's this thing going on. There's this space, and you're drawing his arm, but you're opening up the space. You're not drawing his arm and doing this little tiny little thing. There are exercises where you do little ones, but this is not it. Where you do little thing like this, and see how fundamentally wrong that looks like. But when you get hold of his arm, I've got hold of his arm, that's a big movement. And we have this space. Yeah, very important. So do that again. So hold the ball, look first, heel toe, pendulum, rotation, space, and have that. So when I'm finishing, I'm not like this. I'm like that. I have this room around myself because I've become bigger because of it. And from that place, we can do what you like inside there. Yep. We're going to do a step on the other side because I don't want to do one side without doing the other. So we hold the ball. Now we're going to be standing on our right foot. And we have our right hand up, left hand underneath. Yep. Exactly the same thing the other way. Yep. So we're going to look first. We step slightly behind. Heel. Toe goes down first. By bending this knee, puts that toe down. Good. Then I'm going to pendulum towards this foot, halfway across. I'm going to rotate this hip. I'm going to bring the foot around, and I'm going to come back to there. Yep. So we'll try that again. Come from here, holding the ball. Good. Remember, there's space. Don't hold the ball like that. Have some space in it. Look first. Heel, toe, pendulum, rotation to there. Yeah. As I say, some people do it there. Some people do it like that. Doesn't matter, but we've got this big space we're carrying. Yep, and we're looking up. We're keeping our back straight, which I didn't talk before about it. The whole time we have our back straight. Look, step, heel, toe. My back stays straight the whole time. Yeah, and I turn that way. I'm not turning, leaning forward. I'm turning like that. Now, if you can feel it, so you'll be able to feel it right now, what's happening inside your hands. This is why the Qigong is, because all this energy, this driving of the pendulums happening and the rotation is driving energy into your hands, into your arms. And the arms will float. If you do this a long time, looking first, heel, toe, pendulum, rotation, the arms float by themselves. And they float as you're moving your hip. Comes around. And to get to here, now my body's facing towards this way. It was the side, now I'm facing towards this way, and I'm looking that way. Yeah. Of course, we can put the hand up, and we come back, and we can do the one the other way. Yeah. If you want to, you can turn it over, and you can do the other one. And so this is part of the Tai Chi form. It's part of the Yang style form. There is other versions of it in the Chen style and the Wu style, but they do it slightly different. There's a slightly different way they get into it. The Chen style does it slightly differently. It has a different application of how they do it, and quite often they'll back into it and they'll come this way. The Wu style does it differently as well. So it's quite different. But the principle is exactly the same. So this exercise today, we've learned how to hold our ball, hold your ball, always look where you're going, which is always a good principle in life. Don't step into a hole. Look first, step because you've looked, move across, change the weight from one foot and halfway across rotate to that position there and feel what that feels like. Now, there is a Qigong exercise now, I can't remember what system this is, that actually does this posture. It does that posture. Yeah, it holds the posture like that. So this is as I say, it's brushing my horse's pain, but there is a posture that does it in a Qigong. And you just sit inside this posture. I think there's a Zhang Gong position that's like this. Not the ones that I teach. There's a whole lot of exercises Zhang Gong. I teach 10 exercises for Zhang Gong. There's a whole lot of Zhang Gong exercises. There's a whole system of them. I just teach the really ones that are very, very common. This is position. And you stand in that posture. All the weight's on one leg. Stand in the posture. You can feel the back end, the energy from the back end, and you can feel the energy in the palm of the front. Yep. Cool. Turning. And it does that. And you can do this while you're mobile if you want to, stepping up, parting wild horse's mane, stepping up, parting wild horse's mane. But see the size of it? See the size of this? Yeah, and it's not this. It's not this. Not the one I'm doing, I'm just exaggerating. Of course, nobody does it like that. Yes, they do. Not us. We don't do it that big. We're big. We're big energetic, so we have the flow of this movement in it. So it feels big because it is big. Yeah? And we want to feel what that feels like. To have that freedom inside the body to be that big and not to be this big. Yep. There you go. Hopefully that's useful. There's a whole lot of different pieces in that. So we went to the ball, we did the stepping, we did the weight change, we did the rotation that turns the foot, the rotation that turns the foot from around there to around the front. Now, I will go back to the stepping. Last thing, because this is important. In the Yang style form, every time you step, you face one of the 8 directions. So when I first start, I'm starting from here. I'm starting with both feet. Both feet are facing towards the north. If I step, I'm going to step off, and now I'm facing towards the west. Yep, so I've got one foot facing towards the north, and then I'm moving to one facing towards the west. The stance usually in the Yang form is a 45-degree angle stance. So if I'm standing from the north one here, I'm always going to step into the 45, which is the northwest, which is the 45 in here. Every step in Yang style form, when you step, either steps to the north, it steps to the northwest or northeast, it steps to the west, it speaks to the southwest. It only goes to the 8 directions, which is north, south, east, west, and the north, south, east, west, northeast, and southwest. Yeah, those ones. I think I got them all. Those 8 directions. So all you step, when you ever step in Yang form, it's always going in one of those directions. No matter what form you're doing, your foot's going to be going in one of the directions because that's the way the form was designed. The Chen style does 16 directions, and that's the north-east, north-west, and it does an extra one in between those ones. But the Yang does the 8 extra directions. So when we're stepping, we always know we step. One foot will be facing in a particular direction, and the other one will be facing another direction. But in this particular case of parting wild horse, mate, you start off both feet facing the north. I step towards the west. But as I rotate, I bring the back foot around, and I bring it round, and I bring it back into the quarter. So now it's northwest, because I'm stepping this way. Now I might be confusing because I'm mirroring you, so I might be calling the wrong directions for you because of where I'm going. It's probably the opposite, probably northeast actually. Yep. So I'm stepping. So when we finish the stance, I have one foot facing towards the direction, and the other one's in the corner. You don't usually have it at 90 degrees where one's facing the north. You don't usually finish with one facing the north and one facing the east. That's a funny stance. You actually bring that back foot around to this stance, and now one foot's that way and one foot's this way. And if I step off, I'm going to step off into the other quarter, and I'm going to come to here, and then I'm going to step back to the same quarter, so back to the north, and then I'll step off to the northeast, stepping up, and I'll step back to the northwest, going back to the quarter, and then I'll adjust the foot again. So generally you'll have a quarter. You won't be standing 90 degrees. You won't have one foot facing one north and one facing west. You'll adjust it to face the 45. And that's the posture, because the fighting postures always has that posture. Whether we're doing brush knee's the same, brush knee has the same posture. We have this 45-degree angle, not 90-degree angle with your feet. Yep. There is a transition where you do from there to there, but when you adjust the foot, you always move the foot around. So you have this platform that sits on that. And so this one is the same thing. When we adjust it, steps to the, I would say the west, but it'll be your east, step to the east, and then you adjust the other one to the northeast. So it's in the 45. Yep, there you go. There's some inner workings of the Yang style form. I've done Yang style form for 30 years, so this is there's lots of pieces to it, but there's also lots of very sound teachings that make it what it is and make it very, very efficient. They have competitions doing the Yang style form, which I'm not sure how you're meant to adjust and understand what's going on inside the person's body. That they adjust the physical aspect of it, but how do you know what's going on physically, the energetically inside the person? I'm not sure how you judge that. It could have something to do with the way the person's body moves, but it's another story. Hopefully that's useful anyway. And so I feel great if I do that, because now the body feels all full of energy. So it's great. I feel that movement of the body. So the same thing with Qigong as Tai Chi. There's a carrot for it if anyone want to do Tai Chi. The Qigong is the same. We practice these exercises. So one day our arms will move with energy alone and no muscles, and we will, with our energy move, and we will watch our body moving, and we're not doing that, and the energy's moving it, and we're controlling the energy, and there's no muscles moving. Tai Chi is exactly the same. You get to the stage where you're stepping, you're looking, the body's moving, and you're not doing anything. You're watching the body's energetic moving the body, and you're not actually doing this. The energy's doing it for you, and there's no muscles involved. It's just energy moving your body, and there's no physicality to it. The body just moves by itself. The body's empty, but the energy moves you. It's the same thing. It's just a different version, different application for the same thing. We're trying to get to the stage when we do exercises, heaven, earth, exercise, whatever we're doing, we're trying to get to the stage where we can move our body energetically without the physical piece, to learn how to do both. We still want to learn how to move our body physically as well, but we want to be able to let go and just let the energy move you. And that's the thing with all these practices for. That's what the Tai Chi is about. Because when you move your energy in Tai Chi, anything touches them. You cannot fight against nothing. Because people can't feel the energy, they just feel emptiness, but you can feel the emptiness and you can move their body with your emptiness. But they can't stop because they've got nothing to grab hold of to resist you with. There you go. That's an introduction to Tai Chi for the day. I love Tai Chi, I practice it most days. It's a very, very cool thing. I do sword forms and all sorts of things with staffs and forbs and sabers, and it's fun. Anyway, hopefully that's useful. Very cool. It was good. Thank you, Mark, for introducing that. It was a nice class to do that. It's lovely. I noticed how much passion I have around the Tai Chi when I'm teaching it. So it's very cool. Enjoy that. You can practice that step. Practice holding the ball. Practice brush, parting wild horse's mane. Great day. Roll back on your thumbs. Go. Bring your hands towards your heart, down to your physical center. And then step back and bow to everybody. Very cool.